Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our distinguished guest, very good morning. It's a pleasure having you all together with the break-grounding technology from Oman Data Park, so-called Nebula AI. It's a very extensive journey, but I would like to shortcut it in 15 minutes. First, I would like to take you around the Oman Data Park profile. Then I would like to take you about the microservices, which is part of this solution. Then I'll give you a very important introduction about the AI. What is AI and how we can use AI? It was quite enough slides today, but let's try to understand how Oman Data Park is looking to utilize this AI on the ground. I'll focus about AI use cases as well. And finally, we'll try to cover the security and end to the conclusion. So what's ODP profile? Oman Data Park has been established almost 10 years ago, since 2011. Initially, we started with co-location services, and since then we have been grown to having 3 data centers in Oman. One is in Qom, another one is in Wataya, a third one is in Dukhom. Right now, we're servicing more than 350 racks with 1.2 megawatt data center facilities and the power of computing to accommodate our customers, almost 1,500 above, which out of 650 are corporate and governments as well. Now, we have also new projects coming, hopefully by next year. We're starting with 1,000 rack, 8 megawatts, to consider as a national data center to accommodate the entire power requirement and computing power and the workload which is required for the country, inshallah. Now, the second data center is in Wataya, and third one is in Dukhom. Now, the choice goes to the customer where he would like to put his primary workload as a data center, for example, in Qom and DR in Wataya, or Qom against primary and DR in Dukhom. Its choice is yours. So we are completely free and flexible, up to your needs. This slide is very important. I would like your full attention. See, when you're looking at the computing power to serve any workload, it's of 4 parts mainly. Your data center, your infrastructure, your platform, and finally your application data. So data center initially is very extensive cost because you have to capitalize that. You have to build your data center. After that, you have to go and build also the infrastructure, which is your computing power, your storage, your networking, and network services components, firewall, load balancer, VPN, and then finally you go to the software layer, virtualization, and ending your application data. So throughout this journey, when you come to Oman Data Park, then you are zero capex when you're considering co-location services. So when you're coming as a co-location services, you're shortcutting 30% of OPEX and zero capex. Knowing the power requirement here, we are giving you a variety from 3 kilowatt to 6 kilowatt to 10 kilowatt and 15 kilowatt, and finally 20 kilowatt to accommodate the HPC and AI. When you're coming infrastructure as a service, you're not buying any equipment. Perhaps you come and define your workload requirement of the virtual environment and your workload VMs, and then we try to customize that, and here is 35% to 40% and above. The cost is OPEX is being truncated from your yearly OPEX and zero CAPEX as well. Knowing that, when you're coming to the platform as a service, there are so many products there, okay? The cost cutting is coming about 45% above. AI is injected into the platforms. Right now, our new achievement is AI as a service is coming into the platform. Also, it's coming into the software as a service. Whereas here, you don't buy anything. Perhaps you come and try to procure just the licenses, just come in contact with us, and we'll stage for you the complete softwares and your data as well. So message is what today? We're telling you, please, do not waste your time building the infrastructure and the data center and the networking. You come and try to focus about your data. So today's achievement is just focus on your data. How I can use this data, how I can generate value from this data. So Oman Data Park, as I said, there are more than 350 racks hosting a lot of data. Can we simplify this to our customer in order to generate value from that? Yes, indeed. Therefore, we have came up with NVIDIA solution. Remember, in 2 petaflops, when I'm saying 2 petaflops is equal a mainframe. Our initial cluster is accommodating to support 10 petaflops, which is equal to 5 mainframe. So here, what we're offering you, a power of 5 mainframes on the ground from day one, is scalable at the times needed. Of course, that's what's partnered with NVIDIA and partnered with Canonical and Kubernetes and ultimately AI, all AI frameworks, so that you can use it immediately after you sizing your environment and you're contracting with us, and we'll scale it for you on spot, real time. So let's try to understand what is AI. See, AI is theory. Please note, it is not being born now. AI is being coined from 1956. But why did it come? Because the power of computing and the networking was not enough, and the data size. Remember, the soul of AI is the data. That time, the data was not enough. The computing power was not enough, and also the telecommunication was not enough to carry forward that kind of bandwidth in the data. So in theory, AI is a definition of subsets of applications. What are these systems which has been consist of? Remember, they came to try to mimic humans' brain. So for example, we talk, now I'm talking to your natural language processing. NLP is there, okay? So can computer talk? Yes. They started dialoguing with computer. So NLP is there. I do see you, you seeing me. So can computer see? Yes. Computer vision came into picture. Aside of cognitive systems, we're thinking. So there's a cognitive here process happening. Can computer do that? Yes. Expert system, knowledge base, all of these start burning once the data has been grown. So AI lives into the computing power and the growth of the data and telecommunication. Now let's talk about computing. Initially, we know any machines coming of CPU, just CPU. So CPU is taking the entire headache in the workload to do many multitasking and threading across your application. But it's too heavy. Can it do rendering? Yes, it can. But to render any video, for example, it takes maybe 15, 16 to 20 hours. When GPU came, it offloads the power of rendering because GPU is graphical processing unit. It has its own memory, it has its own processing. Therefore, the load is being distributed now. It came to GPU. Now, GPU is doing the same processing in very multi-threaded, parallel processing, very, very fast manner. So the process which was videos taking CPU 15, 20 hours, now we're going to take maybe a minute or a 2 minute. It didn't end here. Also, the processing power started breaking down. From CPU to GPU, it came DPU, data processing unit. And then start APU, accelerating processing unit. And not to mention a quantum computing which is coming on board, hopefully soon. It's already in the research now. What is this giving us an intention? The processors coming more and more powerful and intelligent. Therefore, AI is being born. With the data size. Now, the data right now over the internet is being sized 40 zettabyte. Huge. And it's growing very exponentially. So can we use the power of the data and the intelligence of the computing with the 5G? 5G is also came to take the very high bandwidth of the transformation. So can we use this to apply for the AI? Yes, AI is coming right now in a very different domains. Note, machine learning and deep learning are a subset of AI. They are not AI. As I said, AI is a cognitive system, expert system, knowledge base, robotic systems, machine learning, deep learning. So let's try to understand how we can use this into a real world. I said the power of computing, the growth of the data needs some algorithms. So all the AI is sit around the algorithm, very intelligent algorithm. What are these algorithms? They are the probabilities of doing a process. Let me give you an example. Suppose I gave you a briefcase with the 3 numbers. I told you try to crack it. So you try 001, 002, and over the time you'll do it. But what if I gave you a briefcase with 10 numbers? You're going to take maybe a month, and very hard. But if you apply this to the computer, it's going to do it in a very, very fast manner. Another one, chess. When you're playing a chess, the probability of taking the stone from one side to another, and there's a lot of fast manner of processing. Why my second party has been moving the stones in this direction. So there's a lot of probabilities here. So the same has been applied to the GPU and TPU, which is tensor processing unit. Well, let's look some of the examples here, expert systems. Now, expert systems, we are right now have a lot of data. How I can use this data? Can I take this data and kind of analyzing in order to reach a decision? Yes. For example, let me give an example. In a bank is processing a loan. Now that loan is a very ordinary process, but here we can put an AI, can examine the blood of the applicant. He might get a sugar or he might get a heart attack in the next 3 years. So the insurance will not consider this. This information cannot happen right now on the ground unless you have an AI technology next to you. So for example, another example is expert systems and knowledge base. Knowledge base is a Google search. You're typing, and Google is putting you the complete phrase. He's sensing your intelligence. How he can sense what I want to type? He's been extracting this information across billions of people in the world, and then he have his own knowledge systems in order to present it to you, this phrase. Likewise, machine learning and deep learning, and I'll tell you the slides, what is machine learning, deep learning, but in short, machine itself is learning. Learning from what? Learning from the data. The more you feed the data to the machine, it's going to recognize. For example, if I gave you 1 million pictures and I told you, please identify a dog from this picture, we're going to take a lot of time. But because that's been trained by AI, sending him not a million, even 10 million, 20 million of pictures can do it very, very fast manner. The deep learning is a subset of machine learning. It's kind of neural network. In our brain is a neural network, interconnected. Billions of these cells are interconnected. The same is applied in the deep learning. In order to sense, in order to cognitive that process, in order to achieve what is this object. So give him a picture, he's going to tell you, yes, in this picture there's a dog, there's this type of animal, there's a human, this is a chair, and start learning. So you pass these data and systems start learning. As I said, please differentiate between machine learning and deep learning. Now the hardware which we are offering now, infrastructure, is completely built around the machine learning and deep learning. And here is the hot topic, how you can capitalize on these two technologies to fix your problem statement. Remember, for me, the way I look at AI is a hyper pharmacy for me. When I go, I need to know which medicine I should take. First, I should know my diseases, and then I should go and take that medicine. Exactly, here you have to stop. You have to know where is your problem, what you want to do with the AI. You can't get into AI like this. You have to find a problem statement. So we are trying to help you how you can facilitate these cases. Of course, this is not for all, but it's an examples. Now we're trying to stage AI into multiple domains. As I said, for banking, oil and gas, energy, telecom, retail, smart cities, all of these, but each have its own case. So our strategy is to put this platform fulfilling the entire market. Now, first step we do see, you can get out of this box immediately, your data. You have a lot of data. And these data has been scattered across multiple relational database. And remember, 60% of the data now they're announcing is not in your hand, it's in the market. So for example, what is data coming from the Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp is not accessible. Can we access this data in a heterogeneous environment such as called big data? And then after having this data, I can analyze it in depth? Yes, here we are offering you these platforms. You can stage this data and reuse this data and analyze it in a very cognitive model. So ODP is facilitating the AI platform with the workspace as a service, where remotely you can access our environment with a virtual lab, and you can take it as a POC, and you put your data and start working with it with the full security in place. And here you can have a code environment, and many technologies and tools has been already set around it. And as I said, Kubernetes and microservices are already part of the solution. And on top of this, you can put your, for example, Python language, Jupyter notebooks, and many other R tools, for example, and start using the technologies immediately. Let's take another example, how can be detected. As I said, AI is a subset of multiple applications. For example, in this case, okay, where containers damage. So I can put a camera with IoT, immediately scans, and can seek that this for example, container has been damaged. And also it can scan all the barcodes and feed the information immediately, instantly to the backend systems. Another one is inspection of the infrastructure with the drones and the cameras, and immediately flies and detects where the damage has been happened, and the maintenance can go and fly in a very fast manner. But remember, these examples which you are introducing is not from our thought. It's already in the practice. It's already live. So we're trying to seek this kind of solution into this country. The third one is the banks, and in 2 minutes you have done it in Salala. So the system will recognize how come he can cut in 2 minutes 1,000 kilometers. So this is not a genuine, despite the transaction was successful. It's already attended. The system will be here now trying to analyze, and instantly it will block your card. Another one, I gave a card to my wife. She went to start using it. When you come to the ATM will take the picture, and I gave her the card and PIN, correct PIN. Start using it. So this, the AI can recognize this face is not belonging to me, and it immediately alert me. There's another one. There are hundreds of cases you can generate, aside of the fraud detection. Chatbot, as I said, chatbot is a very lovely technology. People like to talk or chat, but interactively. I'm doing it on a regular manner with Amazon. When I buy stuff with Amazon, I have a problem, I chat. But initially, there's no agent. This computer talking to me. Unless that problem has not been fixed, then it's going to get routed to the agent. 90% of these chats have been fixed by the robots. Also, this is very, very fast and very flexible. Or I can talk as an NLP. Now, one bank is claiming from UK, they have introduced a call center with an AI solution. So people talk not to interactive voice response machine, but to the AI in different kind of statements. Emails. Suppose you have a call center and you're getting 10,000 email, you need to process it in let's say in 8 hours. You can't do it. And which email is important? From the sentence and the text of the emails, the AI can sense based on your rule and say this email is important and can route it to the right agent to fix it. In healthcare, as I said, there's a lot of solutions about the healthcare. Mainly that is going to give you fast processing the diagnosis of the records, of the patient records. And here we also proposing as well your profiling, patient profiling. I've done 20 times, 10 times blood test. How I know from my historical record that I'm going to get sugar or not, or heart attack or not. So there's a lot of intelligence between this correlated information within your parameters of the blood test, and the AI can sense and tell you, yes, you're going to get this kind of diseases over a short of time. Another one, we are the diagnosis of MRI, ultrasound, brain tumor scanning. All of these, like MRI, I was doing research, they were saying usual doctors take 4 to 5 hours to analyze an MRI, but if you present the same reading to an AI, is going to take 45 seconds. The platform which we are offering is saying out of the box is going to offer 45 seconds versus 5 hours doctors scanning for MRI. So this again, I gave you like bone tumor that you can immediately analyze it real time. And ultrasound, I said already about that. Now here is another case. I put an IoT with the camera with thousands, if not millions of cars. Can I ask anyone, for example, how many cars crossed from 8 hours morning to 2 p.m.? It's very hard, really hard. And each car while it's crossing, this number plate has been scanned and immediately alerted to the, let's say, Royal Oman Police. This car has been stolen, it's already found it in this kind of, in this road, for example. Or this number of car has been passed from this point. Let's say one car has been already, his color has been changed without alerting the Royal Oman Police. Let's say the car color which was recorded, registered is blue, and now it is white. A lot of cases can be generated. Real time, fast manner. Here the AI comes, where this lot of data is happening. Now, Oman Data Park doesn't give you just the infrastructure, as I said, from the co-location, infrastructure services, platform as a service, and software as a service, but each layer has been injected with the security. So we have, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, more ISO certification. We have also more than 500 protected customers with the security models. And we are already regulated by all kind of the countries from TRA, Central Bank of Oman, and regulations are being put into our mind all the time with updating our frameworks. And not to mention about PCI DSS as well, we have been certified. So we have, please visit our website. We have almost 16 to 17 products from DMARC, vulnerability scanning, also we brand protection, so many of these products. I'm not expert in the security, but this is already been put, and AI is going to be injected within AI solutions to give you a full-fledged of services. Conclusion. See, there are many, the cloud business is growing over there. It's coming now, okay? We like it or not, it's coming, okay? Like the virtualization when it started, I do remember it was 2003. When I staged it, VMware, people were telling me, are you crazy, you're staging banking onto VMware? But now it's become a de facto. The cloud is like the same, and the AI is going to follow. So the AI is coming in the heart of the cloud. There are big players in the market, of course, AWS, Google, GCP, Azure, and Oman Data Park is focusing to cover the region. We're not saying we are competing with this big player, no. But what we're saying, your data is being protected in the country. We follow the regulation. We are flexible to sit one-to-one. Remember, the big player is a self-service. It's a self-service. But Oman Data Park is a managed services. It's a turnkey solution. It's one-stop solution. You come to us, we sit with you, we look at your problem, we construct for you a solution, and we implement it and manage it for you as well. So Oman Data Park announcing today that we providing you not just an AI, we are providing you a lot of services, AI part of it, a one-stop shop to resolve the entire journey of your workload, to be transformed into cloud. AI's ecosystem is growing. Cloud business is growing. Maintaining your own data center, your own infrastructure is very cost effective. It's coming to the end of the life cycle as well. Maintaining the resources to maintain the infrastructure and security is a big challenge. Managing your own resources to manage your infrastructure and platform is a big headache. We are here next to you. Please visit us. Let's sit together and solve your problem. We have transformed hundreds of companies from different sectors into cloud. Not to mention that AI is now our next journey, hopefully with your presence, of course. And I apologize if I delayed, and I hope this was informative. And should you have any question, I'm available during the day. Thank you very much.